Hello, everyone. Welcome to Financeology 101. Class is now in session. The information provided during this podcast is just that information. You will need to do further research to address your specific situation. Enjoy the session. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another session of Gifted Generations Presents Financeology 101. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Robin Seegers, and your other host is
Elroy Seegers.
And we want to welcome you to the new start of 2023. This session, we're going to talk about how you did last year with your budget and the steps you need to take for 2023 to prepare. So this is sort of like the year in review. What did you do? First of all, did you write down your 2022 budget? And if so, have you taken the time to take a look at it like every so often? Most people do it like once a month. Have you made adjustments to your budget? What you need to change, what you did well at, what needs to change? This is the time to reflect on that so that the things that you did right, you can continue on in 2023. The things that you did not do so well in, you can make those corrections in 2023. So there's something that I was looking at, and to give people some assistance if you're just getting started for 2023, you're starting your budget for 2023. These are some of the things you need to look at. Make sure you have accurate spending categories. Put everything down that you spend it on, and I mean everything, because if you're on a budget, does not mean that you have to cut out the things you like to do. You just have to put it down on your in your budget and see where the finances can be applied to that. Always do a regular review. Like I said, some people do it once a month. Some people can do it every other month. What's comfortable for you? If you need to do it every week, do it. As long as you're staying on top of it. Make an accurate income projection. See what money is coming in. If you got something that's coming in down the line, make sure you're making an accurate income projection. You need to always have categories for irregular expenses. That's some things that people tend to miss. They don't have those things that pop up like car repairs, like the what is it? The car registration,
Yep.
things like that.
Yep.
What else? Your tags. There's things that just pop up. Say
Yep.
something
Yep.
breaks in the home.
Yep. That's
So
needed.
you have to have a category of irregular expenses, and you might not know all of them, but you can. There's some that you do know. Anything regarding your car,
Yep.
have
What
that
what
listed.
she's saying is saying that every money that you have, every dollar that you have, that dollar needs to be assigned to something. Every penny. So when people say, "Hey, I got $20, $50 left over, $120 left over after everything is paid for," then you need to assign that money to go to somewhere, even to your savings account, um, buying your kids clothes, restaurants, retirement, something. So at the end of the day, every single penny that you have should be accounted for. You can even put it in miscellaneous if you need to. You can up your spending funds, but you want to have the money assigned to somewhere because a lot of time during the course of the end of the year, what happens is that we tend to do emotional spending. Why? Because of Thanksgiving and Christmas, we tend to overspend. Although we may allot a certain amount, we tend to go over. emotional ties. I don't want my kids to go without, and that is a true feeling that everyone gets when they have kids. Because we had kids, we always want to make sure our kids had something. I need to buy this person something, or they bought me something. I need to buy them something. Those things are always tied to Thanksgiving and Christmas, so you tend to spend more than what you actually have when it comes to your budget. So just try to be mindful of your spending and allocate those categories you're talking about and assign each dollar.
Right. So those categories again could be your regular expense categories, irregular expense categories, your income, and a line item for saving. You always make sure you pay yourself, right? And then you also track your purchases. So these are some of the tools that you need to be looking at to uh, start your 2023 budget.
Yeah. What I would suggest is that those who, and we really don't like to use the word budgeting, but for lack of a better word, we're using budgeting. It's really about, financial stewardship over your money. And one of the word for Raleigh North Christian Center this year, Dr. Chapman is the pastor, is the word reset. And we typically reset every year, but the word for this year for RNCC is reset. And that's such an appropriate word for your finances and budgeting. Whatever you did in 2022, whether you did excellent, not so good, or bad, you can reset and start making changes today. But you actually got to sit down and have a plan. And then when you get that plan that you formulate, that you carry it out. So I always tell people who's not used to budgeting or doing financial stewardship, don't know where to start. I always tell people take a shoebox, take all your bills, receipts, and just throw them in a shoebox. Now, if you have online spending where you pay a budget, that's automated, write on a sheet of paper and put it in that same box. At the end of the month, see how you spent. Now, don't restrict yourself. Don't say, "Well, I know I'm budgeting, so I don't want to do X, Y, and Z." No, spend like you normally spend because you got to get a true sense of where your money is going, and then you can build a restriction or budgeting or some guidance around your typical spending, and then you start there. Let's say wow, you realize that you only have, let's say I'm using a number, $500 savings uh, after all of my spending, and I realize I'm going doing a lot of trips to the grocery store. Okay, so let's see if we can modify some things. So next month you say, you know what, let's spend less at the grocery store. You make a goal at. I ain't saying you got to chop it down to 200. I'm saying maybe do small gains, 450. And as you do those small gains each month, you can see you start to recover your savings to pay off other credit cards, doing a snowball effect. It puts you in charge of your own spending and your own finances versus it owning you. You own it.
And that's an excellent way of looking at it. And I looked up some different types of budgets because everybody's budget is not going to fit one mold. So you have to do what works best for you. There's a budget called the 50-30-20 budget where you allocate 50% of your monthly income for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and or paying off debt. The zero sum budget, where you allocate every dollar for your monthly income to an expense or category of
Yep.
your budget so
Yep.
that it's zero left over. So
Yep.
that, like he said, assign your money to
Something.
something.
Yep.
And say you have extra money, you are don't say, oh, I have $500 left at the end of the month. I'm going to assign it to spending. No, the goal is to save. The goal is
Right.
to save as much as you can. So
Right.
assign it to savings. That's the best idea. Or if you're investing, some of it to savings, some of it to invest in. And pay yourself first budget is to allocate a conservative estimate out of your monthly income for your saving first, then divide the remaining amount to other budget categories.
Yep.
So I'm quite sure those are just three.
Yep.
Each individual person can create their own how they do their budget because it's all a personal
Yep.
experience.
Plans to start.
Yes, the plan definitely is
Should
to
start.
get started. And remember, review your budget regularly especially if this is something you're doing for the
Yep.
first time.
Yep.
Review often.
Yep.
If it's once a week,
Yep.
if it's once a month, you have to stay on top of it because
Yep.
it can get out of control
Yep.
quick. And
Yep.
don't be discouraged if you fall off the wagon, as they say. Just get back up and keep going.
Just don't let that
Recover,
wagon
make
run
the
you over.
adjustments and recover.
Yep.
So but like I always said, budget is like a bad word to some people, but it's all you're doing is really assigning your money somewhere.
Yeah. I look at budget sometimes beginning of the year like gym membership. We want to lose weight. We want to be healthy. So the gym is crowded. Every January 1 through the 5th, the first month. Budgeting is just like the exact same thing. People are excited it's a new year. I can pay off bills. I'm gun ho. I'm gonna just do everything I can. February, the gym is not so crowded. It's beginning to thin out. February and budgeting. Well, I don't want to save as much. March, the gym is like, oh, I can get on any piece of equipment. March, budgeting. Well, you know what? I tried. It didn't work. Let me go back to my old habits. You got to learn to stick to it. So I always tell people, don't make your budget so restrictive that you can't do anything and enjoy yourself.
Right.
You got to give yourself time to enjoy your fruits of your own labor. Pay yourself, but I'm not saying go out and do a trip when your bill's not paid for. Those things are still priorities. You want to make sure your priorities are in line, pay your expenses, pay your bills, and then save. Once you get those things lined up, you can start seeing your savings grow. And trust me, when your savings starts to grow and you see it, it really starts to feel good about you. You start to feel good about yourself, and you start to do a whole lot better when it comes to saving. I've witnessed it. I've seen it tons of times. And sometimes the beginning thing is hard to start. And sometimes catching momentum is a little bit harder. But once that snowball starts to roll down here, it gets bigger and bigger. And I've not seen anyone who has not enjoyed the fruits of their own labor by saving a little bit. And at the end of the year, they're like, whoa, I did all that. We all know Christmas is the same time every year. I would suggest if your bank does Christmas funds, club funds, $50 a month, go and do that. At the end of the year, you may have $600. That's less money you can put on the credit card every single year. Now you have cash. Look at different opportunities to save money versus spending money. Think about this one thing. Whenever you use your credit card, who are you paying?
Their business.
That's right. Wouldn't you rather pay yourself $50 in the Christmas club fund versus a credit card? $50 every month. It's the same $50. So why not do it in advance than doing the end and making the banks richer? Pay yourself. It's the same $50. Either you're gonna pay it now or you're gonna pay it later. Me, I'm gonna get it in advance. That way when I draw it out, I ain't gotta pay those banks, those credit card people, nothing. So it's the same money. It all depends on if you want to pay yourself or you want to make them rich.
And that's one thing I try my best not to do. I'm not trying to give them all my money. That's what I always say. They got theirs. I'm trying to get mine. So I ain't
Yes,
giving it
Lord.
all to them. So I'm trying to figure out ways to not spend this and not spend that. But I'm not saying I don't enjoy life, because we enjoy life. We definitely enjoy life. But the thing is, if you like to go out with your friends every weekend, just cut it back to every other weekend. And that those 2 weekends that you don't go, save that money.
Yeah.
That way you can still enjoy your friends. Don't feel, because FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
You won't have that because you do get to go out. You may have it at the beginning because it's brand new and it might sting a little bit. But when you see your account grow, and when you see the money that you're saving and how well you're doing, it's more than worth it. Because you make it to a point that you can go back to going out every weekend with your friends, because you make the sacrifice early on in the process, and then you can go back to going out with your friends or going shopping or going on a trip. It's all about perspective. You could make the sacrifice up front so you can enjoy later, or you have all the fun up front and you're gonna suffer later.
It's also about surrounding yourself with people that they may know about you than less about you. If you got that same friend that wants to go out every weekend and buy clothes and go shopping, you ain't got the money. You need to tell your friend, hold up, I can go with you, but I only got $50 or $100. You can't always spend to be a part of the crowd, because that same part of the crowd may be the broke crowd. and you could be the one that's doing things differently. So later on in life, you can live differently. We are about the generation of a lot of people about now that's that gratification of touching things now, having things now. We forget the plan that there's a future for us too. Next month, Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July. Because trust me, with COVID, people are getting used to COVID and begin to travel nowadays. Prices gonna go up. There's gonna be less places to book, and it's gonna cost you more. Will you have the funds to do those things? Are you gonna pay more? If you know you want to plan a trip, regardless of where you know where you're gonna go, you should still save for that trip. You ain't gotta know where. You know you're gonna be going somewhere, just don't know where. So you have the money already set aside to do it. I ain't say, well, my credit card's at zero. I can put $600 on it and I can pay that off in 12 months. You still paying the man. So why not spend that $50 in advance to put towards a trip or towards Christmas Club? Trust me, it works. You would feel whole lot better by paying yourself than paying the man.
And also have friends that are of the same like mind.
Yes.
Meaning have friends that's thinking like you,
Yes.
want to save, want to do better,
Yep.
want to invest in the future,
Yep.
want to be debt free.
Yep.
When you around people like that, it's easier to do because y'all all doing it together.
And they're looking at you too, saying, "Why you buying that? That costs X, Y, and Z." We have those kind of friends. We have friends that may check us, or we may check them. Like, that's a lot. I don't know if I would buy that, man, based on these things. They're like, "Yeah, you're right. Let me not buy 4 pair of shoes. I can buy 2 pair of shoes," type things, or BOGO. So my wife Robin is right. You want to make sure you have those that's going to encourage you to do better and make wise and right decisions.
You want to be around people that's constantly on you about spending and shopping and doing this and doing that because they are trying to do better. So, like we say, misery loves company. So
it's okay to say no too.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, being around people with the same like mind, it makes it so much easier, and y'all can encourage each other, and y'all can grow your finances together. And not saying not to be friends with those people that's not like that, but you don't want to spend a lot of time with them when it comes to shopping and trips and all of this if they're not of the same like mind.
Amen.
You know, so, and I know Edward mentions the Christmas Club. He also, which something a lot of people don't know, which I learned through him, that your bank, some banks have sub savings accounts.
Yeah.
Meaning you have your main account and then you can have 2 or 3 underneath.
Yeah.
That's called vacation savings, Christmas savings, car savings.
Yeah.
So check with your bank to see if you have those savings accounts.
Yep.
And set them up. And then once you set them up and they have them, you set them up,
automatic draft
that you don't have to manually go in there and transfer money. Have it set up to automatically draft your checking account to put money in those accounts where you're not doing it. So it's being done automatically.
Well, look at it this way. The government automatically draft you every time you get paid, don't they? And you live with that money that's gone, right?
Those taxes.
That's it. So you might as well automatically draft those different accounts. And the thing about those banking, they do not advertise that. So you have to ask about those things. They don't say, "Oh, we will allow you to have 6 accounts." I do know for the most part, credit unions, they do offer that. But like I said, you won't find it on the website, and you won't find it out anywhere else. You have to, in the pamphlet, you have to go and ask them about those things. I don't know why they don't advertise those things. Maybe because they're trying to steer you towards the Christmas Club things. But you can pay yourself, like my wife says. That's what we do. I just put money in different accounts as we get paid, so that when it comes time to go on a trip or something like an emergency, the money is already there, and it's less painful when you got an emergency fund. And I always tell people, just because they always tell you typically to say they have $1,000 for emergencies or 500 or 3 to 6 months into your savings for emergency, that does not mean you got to stop at the minimum. If you want to put more in that emergency fund, do it. If you want to say, well, you know what, I ain't got anything else to do with this money, let me put it towards my emergency fund. So now you got $1,100, $1,200. $1,000 is just a typical number that people just throw out at you. Does not mean you have to meet that number. The more you have, the less of the impact the emergency are for you when you have it. You get a blown tire, and let's say those tires cost you $1,200 because you're buying 4. Okay, you gotta get the $200 for somewhere else. But if you can tend to add to the emergency fund, now you're building about 1,000. So now you have more than enough to pay for some tires for $1,200. Or you're not depleting all your services for your emergency fund at one time, and to build it back up. So I always tell people, if you ain't got anywhere to put that money, put it in the emergency fund, or put it on a credit card to make that credit card balance lower. Do something small. Do something wise. No more emotional decisions. Year reset. Let's reset it and get it right this year.
Yes, and we know, especially like Elroy said, that we know that we do a lot of emotional spending, especially around the holidays, and summer getting ready to come up, spring break.
Yeah, spring break.
Once again, emotional
Decisions.
So that's all we want to come on and say, that reflect on how well you did.
Yes.
Speak positive how well you did in 2022.
Let's do it more. Let's do it better. Let's do it better.
And then work on it for 2023. Whatever adjustments you need to make them. Whatever you did well and you want to continue them. But one thing I definitely say is write your budget down. Please write it down.
That's right.
Because if it's not written down,
write it down, make it plain. Write it down, make it plain.
That's right. It's good.
Write it down, make it plain.
Yep. If you don't write it down, it's good as forgotten. So please write it down so you can see it. You want to see it every day.
Another good thing is, really quick, is like, we did a vision board so we can see the things that we want to envision, that we want to have, because it sits right in front of us, so seeing that vision board reminds you of what the things you're trying to achieve, either each year or sometime during your lifetime. So that budgeting, writing down, making it plain, building those vision boards is critical. And I only say this not just to adults, but also to your kids. Involve your kids in your decision making when it comes to budgeting. The sooner they know, the better off they are. So when they go off to college, they are already set. They don't get some money like, hey, I got a student loan, and they say I ain't got to pay for it in 4 years. 4 years come up and they owe a whole lot of money. So help your kids to make wise decisions when they're off on their own. Because when they get 18, they ain't got to tell you nothing, nor does the college. Go to those kids. So teach your kids, not when they get 16, 17, 18, teach them in their teens how you do decision making when it comes to your money and turning on the water, the lights, and running the water and electricity and stuff. Teach them early, and they will learn to take that later on in their life big time.
And you're absolutely right, because when you get to college, those credit card companies
coming at you
all over that campus.
Coming at you.
Or I had a friend that, oh my goodness, the minute she got in college, her parents made the mistake of giving her a credit card, and it was under their name, but they gave it to her. And,
blew it up.
She was shopping like it was nobody's
shop business, you drop,
until her parents had to shut that thing off, because she wasn't. They gave her something powerful without teaching her how to use it.
That's like giving kids the keys to a 10-year-old to a car.
Yeah.
They don't know how to drive, but we don't make that comparison when it comes to finances. Would you give your kids the keys to your car at 10? To say, here's a credit card, go do what you want to. That's why we teach them. They have a learner's permit. So look at budgeting as a learner's permit. You teach them how to do things until they're out on their own and make those wise and smart decisions. Because trust me, we all make bad decisions when it comes to finances. I'm not afraid to admit that. But we learn from each mistake and we grow from each mistake. And we're sharing those things now so that you don't repeat those same things that we did. And it's okay to share. I think by sharing is caring. But a lot of times we're so embarrassed by some of our mistakes, we repeat them quietly instead of sharing with somebody so they can say, hey, when the last time you did that, don't do that again. Share with somebody you trust, somebody that loves you and trusts you, that they won't put your business in the street, first of all. Because next thing you know, you're going to be out. Everyone knows about your business. So you always got to find that person you trust. It's called an accountability partner. They're going to help you with your purchases. So if I'm out there about to buy something bad and you call that friend and he's like, man, don't buy that thing on suit. You got a blue suit already. Why you need a blue one? And I'm saying, no, man, this one looks good. It's on sale. I got to save $500. Yeah, but you're still spending $250, bro. A lot of times we look at what we're saving. We forget about what we're spending. Can you actually afford to spend $250? Forget saving $500. What's coming out of your pocket now? Did you allot for that $250? Hey, savings is good on the back end, But spending on the front end, you definitely got to look at first.
You got that right. You got that right. So it's just something important to for you. Once you get a handle on it as an
Amen.
adult,
Amen.
then you can start passing that down to your kids,
Amen.
so that when they get older, they understand to money, respect money,
Amen.
and understand how to manage it and not let it control them.
Amen.
They can control it. So we just wanted to get on and talk touch bases with you guys to let you know to start your 2023 budget, start giving thought
Look at it. Check it out.
and get it going.
That's it. Check it out.
You just need to make minor adjustments from your 2022.
Check it out.
Just keep it going.
Amen.
So if
Amen.
you're starting fresh,
Amen.
now is the time. Now is the time. It's
Yep.
never too late.
Yep.
It's never too late to start getting your finances in order. You
Amen.
don't want to
Amen.
always be struggling.
Amen. Yeah.
Well, I thank you.
Oh, you're welcome,
Thank you.
honey.
Thank you.
I also want to send up prayers to Damar Hamlin and his family at this point in time. That's the number 3 of the Buffalo Bills. So we definitely want to send out prayers and our wishes to them that he's off to a speedy recovery. You know, he has this toy drive on a GoFundMe page. He only wanted to raise $2,500, and then once he got hurt, he went to $6 million. That's just people just giving back. The power of prayer is powerful. So definitely want to give prayers and a moment, 10 seconds, a moment of silence just for him, because we don't want to be remiss of how precious life is. Because we're talking about budgeting and stuff like this. This man is fighting for his life, so we want to just give 10 seconds of quiet and peace time just to focus on him for 10 seconds right now. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to close this session out with giving you all of our social media handles. Our Facebook information is Gifted Gen LLC. Instagram is gift.gen. YouTube is at Gifted Generations LLC. And we also can be found on not only Podbean, but Spotify and Google Podcasts. Just type in the search bar Financeology 101 and all of our sessions will come up. And if you're new to our podcast, go back to the previous ones we've done. We've done a lot.
Guess
A lot
what?
of
Guess what? This is podcast number 40.
Wow, we've done a lot.
40. This makes 40 for us.
Wow, that's great. That's
Yes.
great. So, and it's just our passion to inform people. And when you know better, you do better.
And I also want to say for those who has an idea, we got our little podcast set up in the house, so we actually looking face to face this time. Myself and my wife. Normally she be in one room, I be in a different room. So we got everything set up. The podcast stuff. And anybody has an idea or they want to come on our podcast, or maybe we can. I know we talked about having some guys to come in from RNCC and just talking about finances and stuff. So now we get everything set up. We're looking to do bigger things in 2023 when it comes to finances, looking for different people just to come on live and talk about your industry and how it impacts the service to the community. So I know that's something that we have a desire for. So if you're interested in, just reach out to us and we can see what we can do for you.
Okay, so we're gonna close that session out, and we thank you. And remember, save, 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 budget, budget, budget.
Save a lot. Save a lot.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Well, thank you for tuning in to our podcast, Financeology 101. I hope you enjoyed this session and the information provided will assist you on your financial journey. Until next time, be financially engaged.